First contact. Dr. Elena Reeves peered through the observatory's massive telescope, her heart racing as she focused on a strange anomaly at the edge of our solar system. The blinking light had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, defying all known celestial patterns. As lead astronomer at the Global Space Initiative, GSI, Elena knew this could be the discovery of a lifetime. "Are you seeing this, Raj?" She called to her colleague, Dr. Rajesh Patel, who was hunched over a bank of computers nearby. Raj's fingers flew over the keyboard as he pulled up the data streams. "Incredible," he breathed. "It's like nothing we've ever encountered before. The energy signatures are off the charts." Elena's mind whirred with possibilities. Could this be a new type of star? An undiscovered planet, or something beyond their wildest imaginations? As the team worked tirelessly through the night, analyzing data and formulating theories, the anomaly grew brighter. By dawn, it was visible to the naked eye, a pulsing blue light that outshone even Venus in the morning sky. News of the phenomenon spread quickly. Within hours, every observatory and space agency on Earth had trained their instruments on the mysterious object. Social media exploded with speculation, ranging from doomsday predictions to hopeful theories of alien contact. Elena found herself thrust into the spotlight as the scientific community looked to GSI for answers. As she prepared for a global press conference, she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity stood on the brink of a new era. "We are dealing with an artificial construct," Elena announced to the world's media, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "The object's movements and energy output indicate intelligent design. We believe we are witnessing humanity's first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization." The words hung in the air for a moment before the room erupted into chaos. Questions flew from all directions, but Elena raised her hands for silence. "We don't have all the answers yet," she continued, "but we are committed to approaching this situation with open minds and peaceful intentions. The GSI is working in conjunction with governments and scientific institutions worldwide to establish communication protocols." As Elena fielded questions from reporters, Raj burst into the room, his face flushed with excitement. "Elena, you need to see this," he said urgently, handing her a tablet. Elena's eyes widened as she looked at the screen. The object had changed course and was now on a direct trajectory towards Earth. But instead of panic, she felt a surge of anticipation. "Ladies and gentlemen," she addressed the crowd, her voice filled with awe, "it appears our visitors are coming to us." In the days that followed, the world held its collective breath. Military forces were placed on high alert, but global leaders heeded the scientific community's calls for a peaceful approach. As the object entered Earth's orbit, its true nature became clear. It was a spacecraft of immense proportions and incredible design. Elena and her team worked around the clock, analyzing every scrap of data they could gather about the alien vessel. Its technology was centuries, perhaps millennia, beyond anything humanity had achieved. The ship's hull seems to be composed of a material that absorbs rather than reflects light, Raj explained during one of their briefings. That's why it appeared as just a point of light until it got closer. Elena nodded, her mind racing with the implications and the energy readings. "Off the charts," Raj replied. "Whatever's powering that ship, it's not rocket fuel. We're talking about a complete paradigm shift in our understanding of physics." As the alien ship settled into a stable orbit, the world waited for any sign of communication. Despite humanity's best efforts to send messages in every conceivable format, from radio waves to mathematical sequences, the visitors remained silent. Weeks passed, and global tension mounted. Some saw the alien silence as a threat, while others argued for patience. Elena found herself caught in the middle, advocating for continued peaceful attempts at contact while privately wrestling with her own fears and doubts. Then, on a quiet Tuesday morning, everything changed. Elena was in her office, poring over the latest sensor readings, when an alarm blared through the GSI complex. She rushed to the control room, where screens displayed a flurry of activity around the alien ship. "What's happening?" she demanded. One of the technicians looked up, his face pale. "We're detecting an energy surge from the ship. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Before Elena could respond, a blinding light filled the room. When it faded, she found herself face to face with a being that defied description. The alien stood nearly 7 feet tall, its body a shimmering, translucent blue that seemed to shift and flow like water. Multiple limbs moved with fluid grace, and where a face should have been, there was a swirling vortex of light. Elena's scientific mind raced to categorize what she was seeing, even as her human instincts screamed in disbelief. The being radiated an aura of intelligence and curiosity that matched her own. For a moment, the control room was frozen in stunned silence. Then, the alien raised one of its limbs in what was unmistakably a gesture of greeting. Elena took a deep breath, steeling herself for what would undoubtedly be the most important moment in human history. With trembling hands, she mirrored the alien's gesture. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. The alien's form pulsed with light, and suddenly, Elena felt a presence in her mind. Not invasive, but gently probing, as if asking permission to communicate. She nodded, and in an instant, her consciousness was flooded with images, emotions, and concepts that stretched the limits of her understanding. She saw glimpses of a civilization so advanced it bordered on magical, of journeys across the cosmos, and of a burning curiosity about the universe that mirrored humanity's own. As the mental connection faded, Elena found herself breathless and exhilarated. She looked around the room, seeing the same mix of awe and excitement on her colleagues' faces. Did everyone experience that?" she asked. Nods and murmured affirmations answered her question. The alien had somehow communicated with all of them simultaneously, laying the groundwork for understanding between their species. Elena turned back to their visitor, her mind buzzing with questions. But before she could speak, the alien's form began to shimmer and fade. "Wait," she called out, reaching forward instinctively. The alien paused, its light pulsing in what Elena somehow knew was a reassuring pattern. Another wave of communication washed over her, a promise of return, of further contact, of a journey just beginning. Then, in a flash of light, the being was gone, leaving the GSI team to grapple with the enormity of what had just occurred. Elena looked around at her colleagues, seeing the same mix of emotions she felt reflected in their eyes: wonder, excitement, and a hint of trepidation. "Well," she said, a smile spreading across her face despite the gravity of the situation, "I think it's safe to say that the universe just got a whole lot more interesting." As the team erupted into excited chatter, Elena's mind was already racing ahead. This was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger cosmic community, and she knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The challenge that lay ahead was monumental: to bridge the gap between two vastly different species, to learn from each other, and to explore the cosmos together. But as Elena looked at the dedication and brilliance of her team, she felt a surge of hope. Whatever the future held, humanity was ready to face it head-on, with curiosity, courage, and an unwavering spirit of discovery. Communication breakthrough. In the weeks following the aliens' brief appearance at the GSI facility, Earth was abuzz with excitement and speculation. Dr. Elena Reeves found herself at the center of a whirlwind of activity, briefing world leaders, coordinating with international research teams, and fielding endless questions from the media. The entire scientific community had mobilized, pouring resources into understanding and replicating the aliens' method of communication. Elena's team worked tirelessly, analyzing every scrap of data from their encounter. "It's like trying to recreate a symphony after hearing a single note," Dr. Rajesh Patel complained one late night, rubbing his tired eyes. Elena nodded sympathetically. "But that single note has given us more insight into extraterrestrial intelligence than centuries of speculation. We can't give up now." Their breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant neuroscientist who had recently joined the team, proposed a radical theory. What if the alien wasn't communicating through traditional means at all? Yuki suggested during a team meeting. What if they were directly interfacing with our neural networks? The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Alina leaned forward, intrigued. Go on, Yuki. Yuki pulled up a series of brain scans on the main screen. Look at these readings from during the encounter. There's significant activity in areas we typically associate with language processing, visual interpretation, and emotional responses. But the pattern is unlike anything we've seen before. Are you suggesting the alien was rewiring our brains? Raj asked, a note of concern in his voice. Yuki shook her head. Not rewiring. More like creating a temporary bridge. A neural interface that bypasses our traditional senses. Alina's mind raced with the possibilities. If we could replicate that interface, we could communicate with them on their level. Yuki finished, her eyes shining with excitement. The next month was a flurry of activity as the team worked to develop a device that could replicate the alien's neural interface. They faced numerous setbacks and false starts, but Alina's leadership kept the team focused and motivated. Finally, after weeks of grueling work, they had a prototype. The device, which they dubbed the Cognitive Resonance Amplifier, CRA, looked like a sleek metallic headband. It works by stimulating specific areas of the brain to create a state receptive to the alien's form of communication. Yuki explained as Alina examined the device. At least, that's the theory. Alina nodded, her heart pounding with anticipation. Well, there's only one way to find out if it works. We need to call our visitors. The team set up a powerful transmission array, broadcasting a signal they hoped would attract the alien's attention. Days passed with no response, stretching into weeks. Doubt began to creep in, but Alina refused to give up hope. Then, on a quiet Sunday morning, the sky lit up once again. The alien ship, which had remained in orbit since first contact, began to descend towards Earth. Global defense systems went on high alert, but Alina's team had prepared for this moment. As the ship entered the atmosphere, they'd broadcast messages of peace and welcome on all frequencies. The alien vessel, a massive structure that seemed to shimmer and shift in the sunlight, came to rest in a remote desert location that had been hastily prepared for this moment. As a crowd of scientists, military personnel, and government officials watched with bated breath, a section of the ship's hull rippled and parted. 3 alien beings emerged, their bodies pulsing with that now familiar blue light. Alina stepped forward, the CRA device securely in place on her head. Her team watched anxiously from a nearby bunker, monitoring her vital signs and the device's output. Welcome back, Alina said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. She raised her hand in the same greeting gesture as before. The aliens mirrored her movement, their forms shimmering with what Alina interpreted as approval. Then, just as before, she felt a gentle probing in her mind. This time, however, instead of a flood of disjointed images and emotions, Alina experienced something altogether different. The CRA hummed to life, and suddenly, she could understand. Greetings, Alina of Earth, a voice echoed in her mind, somehow both alien and familiar. We are the Zarquin, travelers of the cosmic seas. We come in peace and in the spirit of discovery. Alina's breath caught in her throat. It had worked. They were communicating. On behalf of humanity, I welcome you, she replied, marveling at how her thoughts seemed to translate effortlessly. We have so many questions, so much to learn from each other. The lead alien, Alina somehow knew it was their expedition's leader, pulsed with a light that conveyed amusement and warmth. As do we, Alina of Earth. Your species' resourcefulness in bridging the communication gap is impressive. It speaks well of your potential. Over the next few hours, Alina engaged in a dialogue that pushed the boundaries of her understanding. The Zarquin shared glimpses of their history, a civilization millions of years old that had long ago transcended the need for physical forms as humans understood them. They spoke of cosmic wonders that humankind had yet to discover, of the intricate web of life that connected all sentient beings across the galaxy. But most importantly, they spoke of their reason for coming to Earth. "We are seekers of knowledge," the Zarquin explained. "In our journeys, we search for species on the cusp of great leaps in understanding. We offer guidance, but the path forward must be your own." Elena's mind reeled with the implications. "You're saying humanity is at a crucial point in our development." "Indeed. Your species stands at a crossroads. The choices you make in the coming years will determine whether you rise to join the galactic community or remain isolated on your world." As the conversation continued, Elena became aware of a growing fatigue. The neural interface, while revolutionary, was taking a toll on her mind and body. The Zarquin, sensing her exhaustion, began to withdraw. "We have much more to discuss, Elena of Earth, but we understand the limitations of your current form. We will remain in orbit, ready to continue our exchange when you have rested and shared your findings with your fellow humans." With a final pulse of light that conveyed encouragement and farewell, the aliens retreated to their ship. As it rose silently into the sky, Elena stumbled back towards her team, her mind buzzing with everything she had learned. Raj rushed to support her as she wavered on her feet. "Elena, are you all right? What happened out there?" She looked at her colleagues, a tired but triumphant smile spreading across her face. "We did it. We've made contact. And this is just the beginning." In the days that followed, Elena worked with her team to process and understand the wealth of information gained from the encounter. The CRA had recorded the entire exchange, allowing them to analyze and share the conversation with other researchers and world leaders. The implications of the Zarquin's message were profound. Humanity was being offered a chance to advance beyond its current limitations, to take its place among the stars. But with that opportunity came great responsibility. As Elena prepared to address the United Nations, she reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. From that first mysterious light in the sky to the incredible breakthrough in communication, every step had pushed the boundaries of human knowledge and capability. Standing at the podium, facing the assembled leaders of the world, Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders. But she also felt a surge of hope and determination. "Distinguished delegates," she began, her voice clear and strong. "We stand at a turning point in human history. The Zarquin have offered us a glimpse of our potential, a chance to grow beyond the confines of our world. But the path forward must be one of our own making." She paused, looking out at the sea of faces before her. "The challenges ahead are immense. We must put aside our differences, pool our resources, and work together in ways we never have before. But I believe that this is our moment. This is humanity's chance to prove that we are ready for the next great adventure." As applause filled the chamber, Elena felt a renewed sense of purpose. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but she knew that humanity was up to the task. The stars had never seemed closer, and the future had never looked brighter. Cultural exchange. In the months following Dr. Elena Reeves' groundbreaking address to the United Nations, the world underwent a transformation unlike any in human history. The presence of the Zarquin sparked a global renaissance of scientific and cultural endeavors as humanity strived to prove itself worthy of joining the galactic community. Elena found herself at the forefront of this new era, leading an international team of scientists, linguists, and diplomats in regular communications with the alien visitors. The cognitive resonance amplifier, CRA, had been refined, allowing for longer and more detailed exchanges without the extreme fatigue of the initial contact. On a crisp autumn morning, Elena stood before a newly constructed facility that symbolized humanity's commitment to this interstellar relationship. The Global Interchange Center, GIC, was a marvel of human engineering, incorporating designs inspired by what they had learned of Zarquin architecture. "It's quite something, isn't it?" Dr. Rajesh Patel remarked, joining Elena as she admired the structure. Its fluid lines and shimmering surfaces seemed to defy conventional physics, much like the Zarquin themselves. Elena nodded, a mix of pride and anticipation swelling in her chest. "It's more than just a building, Raj. It's a bridge between our worlds." As if on cue, a familiar shimmer appeared in the sky above them. The Zarquin ship descended gracefully, coming to rest on a specially designed landing pad adjacent to the GIC. A group of the ethereal beings emerged, their blue luminescence pulsing with what Alina had come to recognize as excitement. Alina and Raj approached, CRA devices activating as they neared the aliens. The lead Zarquin, whom they had come to know as Zephyr, greeted them with a burst of welcoming light. Alina and Raj of Earth, Zephyr's thoughts resonated in their minds. "Your new facility is an impressive achievement. We look forward to the exchanges that will take place here." "Thank you, Zephyr," Alina replied, her thoughts translating seamlessly through the CRA. "We're eager to begin this new phase of our relationship." As they entered the GIC, Alina marveled at how quickly humans and Zarquin had developed a rapport. Despite their vastly different physical forms and evolutionary backgrounds, both species shared an insatiable curiosity about the universe and each other. The first order of business was a cultural exchange program that had been months in the planning. Teams of human experts in various fields, art, music, literature, philosophy, and more, were ready to share the best of human culture with the Zarquin. In return, the aliens had promised to offer insights into their own cultural practices and history. In a large circular chamber designed for optimal interaction between the species, the exchange began. Alina watched with pride as her fellow humans presented their contributions. A renowned orchestra performed a piece that blended classical Western music with traditions from around the world, creating a symphony that represented the breadth of human musical expression. The Zarquin pulsed with colors Alina had never seen before, their very beings seeming to resonate with the music. When the last notes faded, Zephyr communicated, "Your music is extraordinary. We perceive vibrations and harmonies in ways your physical forms cannot, yet you create beauty that transcends those limitations. Truly remarkable." Next, a team of artists unveiled a massive interactive sculpture. It was a dazzling fusion of traditional materials and cutting-edge technology, designed to respond to both physical touch and the unique energy signatures of the Zarquin. As the aliens interacted with the sculpture, it came alive with swirling colors and shifting forms, bridging the gap between human and Zarquin artistic sensibilities. The human artists watched in awe as their creation took on dimensions they had never imagined. "Your creativity is a force unto itself," one of the Zarquin observed. "In all our travels, we have rarely encountered a species with such diverse and evocative means of expression." The exchange continued with presentations on human philosophy, literature, and scientific achievements. The Zarquin absorbed it all with evident fascination, their questions and observations pushing the human presenters to consider their own culture from entirely new perspectives. Then came the moment Alina had been eagerly anticipating. It was the Zarquin's turn to share. Zephyr and his companions moved to the center of the chamber. "We do not have physical artifacts to present," Zephyr explained. "Our culture exists in the realm of thought and energy, but we will endeavor to translate it into a form you can comprehend." The air in the chamber seemed to vibrate with potential. Then suddenly, the room was filled with light and sensation. Alina gasped as her mind was flooded with images, emotions, and concepts that defied easy categorization. She saw, felt, experienced the history of the Zarquin race, their evolution from physical beings not unlike humans to their current energy-based form. She glimpsed the wonders they had discovered in their millions of years of space exploration, the civilizations they had encountered, the cosmic phenomena that still filled them with awe. But more than that, Alina experienced the Zarquin's way of perceiving the universe. It was as if every atom sang to them, the fundamental forces of reality, a symphony of interconnectedness that humans had only begun to grasp. When the vision faded, Alina found tears streaming down her face. Looking around, she saw that many of her colleagues were similarly affected. The Zarquin pulsed with gentle light, allowing the humans time to process what they had experienced. That was, I don't have words, Raj said, his voice choked with emotion. Zephyr's response was tinged with what Elena interpreted as compassion. We understand this form of sharing can be overwhelming for your species, but we believed it important to give you a true sense of who we are and how we perceive existence. As the humans regained their composure, the exchange continued. The Zarquin shared what they could of their artistic and philosophical traditions, abstract concepts that challenged human understanding, but opened up new realms of thought. Hours passed, but to Elena, it felt like both an eternity and an instant. As the formal exchange concluded, she felt a profound sense of connection not just to the Zarquin, but to the universe itself. This is only the beginning, Zephyr communicated as the event wound down. There is so much more for us to learn from each other. Elena nodded, her mind buzzing with new ideas and perspectives. I couldn't agree more. But I have to ask, in all your travels, all the civilizations you've encountered, have you ever experienced an exchange quite like this? Zephyr's form shimmered in what Elena had come to recognize as their equivalent of a smile. Each encounter is unique, Elena of Earth. But I can say with certainty that your species' combination of creativity, emotional depth, and intellectual curiosity is rare and precious. It is why we believe humanity has such potential. As the Zarquin prepared to return to their ship, promising to return soon for further exchanges, Elena felt a renewed sense of purpose. The experience had been transformative, not just for her, but for all of humanity. In the days that followed, as the data from the exchange was analyzed and disseminated, Elena observed a shift in the global mood. The glimpse into the Zarquin's vast history and perception of the universe had put human conflicts and divisions into perspective. There was a growing sense of unity, of humanity as a single species with a shared destiny among the stars. Scientists pored over the new concepts introduced by the Zarquin, leading to breakthroughs in physics, energy production, and space exploration. Artists and philosophers found themselves inspired to create works that pushed the boundaries of human expression, attempting to capture the profound insights they had glimpsed. But perhaps most importantly, there was a change in how humanity viewed itself and its place in the cosmos. The knowledge that they were part of a larger galactic community, filled with wonders beyond imagination, filled people with a sense of both humility and aspiration. As Elena prepared for bed on the night after the exchange, utterly exhausted but exhilarated, she found herself looking up at the stars visible through her window. The pinpricks of light seemed different now, alive with possibility. "We're coming," she whispered to the cosmos. "We're not there yet, but we're on our way." With that thought, she drifted off to sleep, her dreams filled with visions of the incredible journey that lay ahead for humanity. Scientific collaboration. The dawn broke over the Global Interchange Center, GIC, its crystalline structure catching the first rays of sunlight. Inside, Dr. Elena Reeves stood before a holographic display, her eyes darting between complex equations and 3D models of subatomic particles. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Dr. Yuki Tanaka remarked, joining Elena at the display. "A year ago, we couldn't have even conceived of this level of understanding." Elena nodded, a smile playing at her lips. "And to think, this is just the beginning." The room they stood in was the heart of the most ambitious scientific collaboration in human history. Teams of Earth's brightest minds worked alongside Zarquin scientists, pushing the boundaries of knowledge in fields ranging from quantum mechanics to astrophysics. As Elena and Yuki discussed the latest breakthrough in unified field theory, a familiar shimmer announced the arrival of their Zarquin colleagues, Zephyr, and a newer addition to the team, a Zarquin scientist called Nova, materialized in the center of the room. "Greetings, Elena and Yuki," Zephyr's thoughts resonated through their CRA devices. "We bring exciting news from our latest deep space observations." The team gathered around a large holographic projector as Nova began to share their findings. The Zarquin had recently deployed a network of advanced sensors throughout the solar system, allowing for unprecedented observations of cosmic phenomena. "We've detected an anomaly in the fabric of space-time," Nova explained, their form pulsing with excitement. "It appears to be a naturally occurring wormhole just beyond the orbit of Pluto." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Stable wormholes had long been theorized but never observed. If this discovery was confirmed, it could revolutionize humanity's understanding of the universe and their ability to explore it. "This is incredible," Alina breathed, her mind racing with possibilities. "But how can we study it? Even our most advanced probes would take years to reach that distance." Zephyr's form shimmered in what Alina had come to recognize as their version of a smile. "That, dear Alina, is where our collaboration truly begins to bear fruit." Over the next few hours, the Zarquin outlined a plan that would have seemed like science fiction just a few years ago. They proposed combining Zarquin propulsion technology with human ingenuity to create a probe capable of reaching and studying the wormhole. "Your species has a unique approach to problem solving," Nova explained. "We believe that by merging our knowledge with your innovative thinking, we can achieve what neither of us could alone." The project, dubbed Operation Cosmic Bridge, quickly became the focal point of the scientific community. Teams from around the world contributed ideas and resources, working tirelessly alongside their Zarquin counterparts. Months flew by as theories were tested, prototypes built and discarded, and new technologies developed. The collaboration wasn't without its challenges. Cultural differences and communication barriers sometimes led to misunderstandings and setbacks. But with each obstacle overcome, the bond between the two species grew stronger. Alina found herself constantly amazed by the Zarquin's patience and willingness to explain concepts that were millennia beyond human understanding. In turn, the aliens seemed genuinely impressed by humanity's ability to make intuitive leaps and find novel solutions to complex problems. As the launch date for the probe approached, Alina couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. It wasn't just the scientific advancements, impressive as they were. There was a fundamental shift in how humanity viewed itself and its place in the universe. The night before the launch, Alina stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed spaceport, gazing up at the stars. Zephyr materialized beside her, their presence a comforting glow in the darkness. "Your thoughts seem heavy, Alina of Earth," Zephyr observed. Alina smiled, turning to face her alien friend. "Not heavy, Zephyr. Just full. A few years ago, we thought we were alone in the universe. Now we're about to launch a probe to study a wormhole, using technology we barely understand. It's overwhelming sometimes." Zephyr pulsed with what Alina had come to recognize as understanding. "Progress often is. But know this, in all our travels, we have rarely encountered a species with such capacity for growth and adaptation. You continue to surprise and impress us." The launch the next day was a spectacle unlike anything the world had ever seen. The probe, a sleek fusion of human and Zarquin technology, rose into the sky on a pillar of light that seemed to defy the laws of physics. As it cleared the atmosphere, cheers erupted from the control room. But there was little time for celebration. The real work was just beginning. Over the next weeks, data from the probe began to stream in. The joint human-Zarquin science team worked around the clock, analyzing the information and making new discoveries almost hourly. "The wormhole structure is unlike anything we've encountered before," Nova explained during one briefing. "It appears to be far more stable than our models predicted." Alina leaned forward, intrigued. Could it be artificial? The question hung in the air, leaden with implications. If the wormhole was indeed artificially created, it would mean that there were other advanced civilizations out there, perhaps even more advanced than the Zarquin. "It's a possibility we cannot discount," Zephyr acknowledged. "But whether natural or artificial, this discovery opens up new avenues of research that could fundamentally alter our understanding of the universe." As they delved deeper into the mysteries of the wormhole, other projects continued to advance. The collaboration between humans and Zarquin led to breakthroughs in clean energy production, solving many of Earth's environmental challenges. Medical research progressed at an unprecedented pace, with new treatments for once incurable diseases being developed. But perhaps the most profound changes were happening on a societal level. The constant exchange of ideas and perspectives between humans and Zarquin was reshaping human culture. Art, philosophy, and even governance were evolving as humanity grappled with its new place in the cosmos. One afternoon, as Elena was reviewing the latest data from the wormhole probe, she received an urgent message from the UN Secretary-General. A global summit was being called to discuss the next phase of human-Zarquin relations. "We stand at a crossroads," the Secretary-General explained in a private briefing. "Our scientific collaboration has been incredibly fruitful, but there are those who believe we should be doing more. They're calling for full integration into the galactic community the Zarquin have told us about." Elena considered this carefully. And what do the Zarquin say? They've made it clear that the choice is ours. They'll support us either way, but the decision must be humanity's alone. As Elena prepared to address the summit, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. The decision they were about to make would shape the future of human civilization for generations to come. Standing before the assembled leaders of the world, with Zephyr and Nova floating serenely beside her, Elena took a deep breath. "Distinguished delegates, honored guests, citizens of Earth," she began. "We stand at the threshold of a new era. Our collaboration with the Zarquin has shown us wonders beyond imagining and helped us solve problems we once thought insurmountable. But it has also shown us how much we have yet to learn." She paused, looking out over the sea of faces. "The question before us is not whether we should continue our journey into the stars. That path is clear. The question is how quickly we should proceed, and how much of our own identity we are willing to change in the process." Elena gestured to the Zarquin beside her. "Our friends have offered us a place in a galactic community we're only beginning to understand. It's an incredible opportunity, but it also comes with incredible responsibility. Are we ready to take on that responsibility? Are we prepared for the challenges that come with being part of something so much larger than ourselves?" The room was silent, every eye fixed on Elena as she continued. "I believe that we are. Not because we have all the answers. We don't. But because in the years since we first made contact, humanity has shown an incredible capacity for growth, for adaptation, and for cooperation. We've proven that we can work together, not just with each other, but with beings utterly unlike ourselves, to achieve the impossible." Elena's voice grew stronger, filled with conviction. "So yes, I believe we are ready to take the next step, to fully embrace our place in the cosmos, not as passive observers, but as active participants. The road ahead will not be easy, but when has humanity ever shied away from a challenge?" As applause filled the chamber, Elena felt a sense of both excitement and trepidation. They were about to embark on the greatest adventure in human history, and she knew that every step would bring new wonders and new challenges. But looking at her human colleagues and her Zarquin friends, Elena felt confident that together they could face whatever the universe had in store for them. The journey into the cosmic ocean was just beginning, and humanity was ready to set sail. A new understanding. A decade had passed since humanity had taken its first tentative steps into the galactic community. The Earth that Dr. Elena Reeves gazed upon from the observation deck of Harmony Station was almost unrecognizable from the one she had left behind. Harmony Station, a massive structure orbiting at the L1 Lagrange point between Earth and the Moon, was a testament to how far humanity had come. It was a collaborative effort between humans and multiple alien species, serving as a hub for interstellar diplomacy, trade, and scientific research. Elena's hair had started to gray at the temples, lines of experience etched around her eyes, but her gaze was as sharp and curious as ever. She watched as ships of various designs, some human, some alien, and many a fusion of multiple technologies, came and went from the station's docking bays. "It never gets old, does it?" A familiar voice resonated in her mind. Elena turned to see Zephyr, her longtime Zarquin friend and colleague, shimmer into existence beside her. Never, Elena agreed with a smile. Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come. Their conversation was interrupted by a gentle chime, a reminder of the day's most important event. Elena took a deep breath, straightening her uniform adorned with the insignia of the United Earth Space Agency. "Are you ready?" Zephyr asked, a hint of excitement pulsing through their luminous form. Elena nodded. "As ready as I'll ever be." They made their way to the station's Grand Assembly Hall, where representatives from dozens of species had gathered. Today marked the 10th anniversary of Earth's formal induction into the Galactic Council, and Elena had been chosen to deliver an address reflecting on humanity's journey. As she took the stage, Elena felt a moment of vertigo. The assembled beings before her represented a diversity of life that would have once been confined to the realms of science fiction. There were crystalline entities that communicated through light, methane-breathing giants, and even a species of sentient plants. And yet, despite their vast differences, they were all here, united in the pursuit of knowledge and mutual understanding. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Council, Elena began, her words automatically translated into a myriad of languages and thought forms. A decade ago, humanity stood at a crossroads. We had glimpsed the vastness of the cosmos and the incredible diversity of life it contains. We were faced with a choice: to remain isolated on our small blue planet, or to embrace our place in the greater galactic community. She paused, allowing her gaze to sweep across the assembly. We chose to reach for the stars, and in doing so, we have grown in ways we could never have imagined. Helena went on to recount the incredible advancements of the past 10 years. The wormhole discovered near Pluto had indeed been artificial, leading to first contact with the Andromedans, a species of scientists and explorers who had seeded stable wormholes throughout the galaxy. This discovery had opened up new avenues of faster-than-light travel, allowing humanity to explore further into the cosmos than ever before. Collaboration with various alien species had led to revolutionary breakthroughs in science and technology. Clean, abundant energy was now a reality for every nation on Earth. Diseases that had once been considered incurable were now easily treatable. The first human colonies on Mars and Europa were thriving, with terraforming projects well underway. But it wasn't just scientific progress that Elena highlighted. She spoke of the profound cultural and philosophical shifts that had occurred as humanity grappled with its place in a much larger and more diverse universe. We have learned that the differences between us, whether between human cultures or between species, are far less significant than what unites us, Elena continued. The pursuit of knowledge, the drive to explore, the capacity for wonder, these are the threads that bind all sentient life. She went on to describe how exposure to alien art forms had revolutionized human creative expression, how studying diverse systems of governance had led to more equitable and efficient political structures on Earth, and how the very concept of what it meant to be human had expanded and evolved. But our journey has not been without challenges, Elena acknowledged. We have faced moments of fear, of doubt, of conflict. There are still those who argue that we have lost something of ourselves in embracing the galactic community, that we have traded our unique human identity for technological advancement and cosmic citizenship. She paused, her expression serious. To them, I say this: we have not lost our humanity. We have expanded it. We have grown beyond the limitations of our past, but we carry with us the very best of what makes us human. Our curiosity, our adaptability, our capacity for love and empathy across the boundaries of species and star systems. As Elena continued her speech, she reflected on some of the more personal changes she had witnessed. The CRA devices that had once been cutting-edge technology were now obsolete, replaced by more advanced neural interfaces that allowed for seamless communication between diverse species. It was not uncommon to see humans working side by side with aliens on Earth, or to find human scientists and explorers on distant worlds. 10 years ago, we took our first steps into a larger world, Elena said, nearing the conclusion of her address. Today, we stand as full and equal members of this grand galactic community. But our journey is far from over. The universe is vast, and there is still so much to discover, so much to learn. She smiled, feeling a swell of emotion. As we look to the future, we do so not with fear or trepidation, but with hope and excitement. For we have learned that the greatest frontiers are not just out there in the cosmos, but within ourselves, in our capacity to grow, to change, and to understand. As Elena finished her speech, the assembly hall erupted in a cacophony of applause, light signals, pheromone releases, and various other alien expressions of approval. She felt a deep sense of pride, not just in her own accomplishments, but in how far humanity as a whole had come. After the ceremony, Elena found a quiet moment alone with Zephyr on the observation deck. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the Earth slowly rotate below them. "You've come so far," Zephyr said at last. "When we first made contact, we had high hopes for your species, but you have exceeded even our most optimistic projections." Elena chuckled. "We're full of surprises, but we couldn't have done it without you, without all the species that welcomed us and guided us." Zephyr pulsed with what Elena had long ago learned to interpret as affectionate amusement. Perhaps, but the choice to embrace that guidance, to face the unknown with open minds and hearts, that was all you. As they continued to gaze at the Earth, a sleek ship caught Elena's eye as it departed from the station. It was the Cosmic Voyager, Earth's first true deep space exploration vessel, equipped with technology that would allow it to venture beyond the Milky Way. "They're really doing it," Elena murmured. "Exploring other galaxies. When I was a girl, just the idea of reaching Mars seemed like a distant dream." Zephyr's form shimmered with excitement. "The intergalactic expedition. Yes, it's a monumental step. And I hear the crew is quite diverse." Elena nodded, feeling a swell of pride. Humans, Zarquin, Andromedans, and representatives from 3 other species. A truly collaborative mission. As they watched the Cosmic Voyager become a distant point of light, Elena felt a familiar stirring in her heart, the same sense of wonder and possibility that had driven her throughout her career. "You know," she said thoughtfully, "there was a time when I thought I was too old for another big adventure. That maybe it was time to step back, let the younger generation take the lead." Zephyr pulsed curiously. "And now?" A slow smile spread across Elena's face. "Now I'm thinking that there's still plenty of universe left to explore. And I'm not ready to stop just yet." Zephyr's form brightened. "I was hoping you'd say that. As it happens, the Galactic Council is putting together a special task force. There's a strange signal being detected from the edge of the known universe, unlike anything we've encountered before. They're looking for experienced individuals to lead the investigation." Elena's eyes widened, her heart racing with excitement. "Zephyr, are you proposing what I think you're proposing?" "Indeed I am. Elena of Earth. What do you say? Ready for one more journey into the unknown?" Elena laughed, feeling years younger. "My friend, I thought you'd never ask." As they began to discuss the details of this new mission, Elena felt a profound sense of gratitude. The universe, it seemed, would never cease to offer new mysteries, new challenges, new opportunities for growth and understanding. Humanity's journey among the stars was far from over. In fact, in many ways, it was just beginning. And Elena, along with countless others of her species, was ready to face whatever wonders and challenges the cosmos had in store. The adventure continued, stretching out towards infinity, limited only by the boundless human spirit and the ever-expanding frontiers of knowledge and cooperation.